Welcome to my cooking channel, and I am so excited because we're going to conquer your fear of making spaghetti sauce. The first thing you have to do is find someone who will show you a step-by-step process. Here I am. Let's get started. Welcome, family and friends, to Cooking with Katerina. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious spaghetti sauce that I know your family will love. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step process to make this wonderful meal. First, you're going to need 1.5 pounds of ground chuck or ground beef. Make sure it's 80-20. Next, you'll need a 1/2 cup of diced onions, 2 cloves of garlic diced. It's approximately 2.5 teaspoons. A teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of basil, 1 tablespoon of parsley, and a 1/2 cup of pecorino romano grated cheese. You'll also need 4 28-ounce cans of tomato sauce. Now, I use De Fratelli because I like the flavor and the taste of it, but you can use any type of tomato sauce that you like. I also use 1 28-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes, also De Fratelli, but again, that's what I use. So the next step we're going to take is we're going to brown our ground beef. Okay, we're going to put our stove on medium-high heat, and we're going to begin to brown our ground beef. And if you don't have one of these meat mashers, that's what I call it, get it because it is absolutely amazing. So as it's heating up here, you can mash it and separate the ground beef into small pieces. Remember, we're making a meat sauce here, so we don't want big clumps of ground beef. So you just keep doing this till it's almost completely browned, and then we're going to add our onion. Now you can see how the ground beef is nice and separated there. It'll be perfect for our sauce. And we're going to switch over to a wooden spoon to mix from now on. So the first thing we're going to put on is the onion. And you always add the onion when the ground beef is almost completely browned. And we'll mix that up, get it in there. And then we'll add the garlic. And there will be such a wonderful smell in the house. They won't be able to wait to eat this. You'll have people coming into the kitchen asking, what are you cooking? And let's give that a stir. Okay, next we'll put in our salt, a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of basil, a tablespoon of parsley, dried parsley. And by the way, in the summertime, I like to use fresh herbs like fresh oregano, fresh parsley, fresh basil. It gives it a whole different flavor. So we'll stir that up, and then we'll put in our grated cheese. And that's going to add another layer of flavor in your sauce. Plus it helps it stick better, I think, to the pasta. Let's stir that up. Okay. And I also like to cut my onion. The reason I dice it is because some of our family members don't really like things that have onion or that they can see the onion. So I like to cut it up really small for them. So now you're going to add your tomato sauce. And we want to make sure that we get all of it out. And then your diced tomatoes. Then you'll give it a stir, and you'll lower the heat down to about, if your stove has numbers on it, I would say around a 3, and you're going to let it cook for an hour. And after that hour, you'll be ready to serve. Now, you do want to stir this occasionally, because you want to make sure that it's not sticking on the bottom. As you can see, this is so easy to whip up. And if you have extra, just freeze it. And again, on those days when you have a hectic day and you go, okay, what am I going to cook? Am I going to go and order something out, which is probably going to cost us more money than we really want to spend? Or do I just take some sauce out of the freezer and we're good to go to have a nice, wonderful home-cooked meal. I just added the petite diced tomatoes and the rest of my sauce. So we are good to go here. Let me just give it another stir real good. And we will let this cook, I'd say probably an hour. Okay, we'll see you then. The sauce cooked for an hour. Now, if you like your sauce a little thicker, then cook it a little longer. I also made some penne pasta and I cooked it according to the directions. Now we like our pasta on the al dente side, but you cook it any way you want and cook any type of pasta that you want. I also added some fresh homemade bread and some grated cheese for those who like to put a little extra cheese on their pasta. And we have a glass of vino here. So we have the perfect meal, but you know what? One thing would add to this dish, a nice Greek salad. And you can get my recipe. It'll be listed below as to where you can find it. So if you like this video, please subscribe, like, and share. And also, if you would please comment, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'd love to know how your family enjoyed this meal. But for now, I'm going to have a little taste of this pasta. Because I can't wait. Delicious, so fresh tasting. You don't buy that out of a jar, let me tell you. But for now, salud, enjoy.